There we go.
Yep. There we go. It's coming up. It's coming up. Isn't it
How do
fun?
I create more lights for myself here?
Here,
Jesus.
you're good. You're good. They're gonna be listening to what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, here we are, guys. Hey, we did it. Whoa. We did it, guys. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here today. So, we are excited if you're joining us on our Facebook Live group. We have some incredible talent with us today, guys. We got some incredible talent. So, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Awesome. So, let's do a little intro, guys. So, first of all, tell us about yourselves. I'd like you to talk about how many times you've been into Bold, how many times you've been in Bold, and just a little bit of from where you are and your production levels.
okay. Do I start first?
Go for it.
Who's going to start us off? Let's go.
Jennie, you got a picture there. Okay.
Hey, all right, I'll go. I'm Jennie Wolek from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have been in real estate for 18 years. I have a small team here in Tulsa with awesome rock stars that helped us help over 135 families last year. Our volume on that was almost 30 million. Our average sales price, I just looked it up here in Tulsa, is 175,000 for our MO.
Wow.
So we need to do a lot of units, and our GCI was around 750,000. We've got big goals of helping even more families this year, and Bold has been a huge part of my life and also my team's as well.
Fantastic. And you've been to Bold how many times, Jennie?
I am in 16 right now.
16, and there was a little rumor, a little birdie told me you're going to 17.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever said no, actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Bold is coming to Tulsa and OKC here in June. And so we're excited you guys are on the schedule there. So, Gerry, talk to us. Tell us your story.
Well, I have been in real estate for 12 years. And I'm in my 17th board. And by the way, this new board is, I don't know if I can use the word ass kicking in here.
Oh, no, you can't use that word. Oh, my gosh. I'm in so much trouble. Mo Anderson's going to call me and I'm going to get fined like $1,000, Gerry.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
But it is awesome. It's awesome. This new board is like a completely new experience. Really being very grateful for Bold. I was thinking about it this morning. 12 years ago, my real estate career is completely different from most people. I came into real estate, and right after I closed my first deal, I had a situation that happened with my daughter. And Bold is really, when I'm thinking back at that time, my daughter was on a G-tube feeding. Yeah. And that was a lifestyle that the doctor committed her to. And the mindset that I picked up in my first couple of Bold, it took a few of them for me to get it right myself. Absolutely. But that mindset took me into like, okay, I can believe for bigger things and better things. I remember those days when the doctor was like, are you sure you want to do this? I take the G-tube off our lungs and take the tray off and say, we're going to figure it out. And that's just being bold. Yeah. And that's part of where my real estate career started. Because, in those beginning days, you can't even, it's tough to prospect. I thank God for my first coach at that time that told me, hey, right. Just prospect when you can. Start your day when you can. And that really settled things down for me. And it's been a great, career because of that. So,
well, Gerry, and it sounds like what you use Bold for, and we're going to get to that in a second, is you used it for life initially and then production secondly. And so we're going to get to that. So thank you so much for sharing. And we're excited that you're here. Scott Malouff, talk to us.
Hello. I'm Scott Malouff from San Antonio, Texas. Just last year was my third year in the business. Closed 238 units. We did almost 40 million in production.
Wow.
Our average sale price on our team is 191,000. Right now we have 78 transactions pending on our team.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it's growing.
Yeah.
We're excited. I'm in my 10th bold currently with you. So that's exciting as well, being that, first year in the business, I took bold 4 times, closed 85 units my first year in the business as an individual agent. And now we're just continuing to grow the team. Bold has definitely changed my life, as well as coaching and everything else that I'm involved with.
Absolutely.
Learning Bold that no man or woman stands in the same river twice. So who I was my first rookie year when I was first starting to take bold to who I am today in my 10th bold, I'm a completely different person.
Absolutely.
The nuggets that I'm taking from it are completely different as well. And I'm excited for it. Bold 2.0 has been nothing but, taking it to the next level. And I'm excited for me and my team because I do have 13 agents on our team that are in bold right now together. So
yeah, that's so incredible, Scott. So guys, those of you that are listening to our Facebook Live, I want to share some stats with you. These three individuals have been to bold 43 total times. 43 total times. They have total unit production over 404 units with a total of $85 million in production. Now, I share that with you because the intention of this call is we're going to talk about Bold 2.0, and they're going to share their experiences right now because they're in the April labs. And what we all want you to know is how Bold has changed. And instead of hearing it from us as the leaders or the Bold coaches, we want you to hear it from the people who are actually in the room so that we have 30 launches now coming in June and well more in August and October. So guys, let me ask you a question. And I wrote some questions down. You're currently in the April Bold launch, and specifically share with us in just a minute or 2 or 3, what is different? Because, there were people for a while who were like, hey, I've done Bold. I don't need Bold anymore. I've got this mastered. And we rewrote it. We labbed it with a group of people down in Austin, Gary Keller, our course writers, John Prescott, the director of Bold, some mega agents, the largest expansion agent in the country, KW Research. And so we brought some of that out to April, and you guys are experiencing it right now. So Jennie, let's start with you. What are you specifically taking away in this 2.0 that's different from what you've experienced in the past?
Well, I have always been a referral-based, data-based business, and I have always loved Bold since 2010 was my first one. And I'm the crazy girl that the first day of Bold is like Christmas morning for me. I'm always super excited for Bold. And this Bold, the classmates, they can attest to this, that I was goosebumps, jumping up and down, shaking, so excited through the whole first session because it's taking all of my loves of Bold with mindset, thinking big, systems, scripts, all the things I've always loved about Bold, and then adding in all the things I love about Keller Williams, which is fixed personal perspectives, our belief systems, the one thing, MREA, our Bible. I mean, it's putting together all of my loves. So that is what, and number one, database. And adding in all the classes I've taken, never ending referrals and plussing it and getting purposeful with it, and the language of sales and enhancing those techniques as well. And I'll say that what my biggest observation was from I guess Domino 2 was that during call time, everyone really made calls.
I know, it's so cool. It's like they're
stayed in the room.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's not like they're faking it. They're not like going, yeah. They're actually making calls. It's crazy what's going on in those rooms right now.
So that's my biggest takeaway, the adding in and giving us permission to be authentic and true to ourselves if our behavioral style is that way.
Yeah. And our Bold coaches are so excited because as they're in the rooms, they're experiencing that energy level go up based upon that permission to lead generate in your comfortable behavioral style. And, we still have to lead generate, right? Gary says you never get away from lead generating. And yet the fact is now we're giving you permission. So that's a great point. Gary, what would you say that you're experiencing in the Bold April launch that's different from your past Bolds?
Well, I don't think I can say it better than the way Jennie just said it. She was awesome. She was awesome.
Okay.
But I definitely completely agree with her. It is definitely is on steroids. It was bold on steroids.
Yeah.
It really bring you in. What I notice is that usually when you're in a group and you have some newbies that are in the group and they may get lost, in the first few weeks and stuff
Right.
like that. This one draws them in
Absolutely.
because it's there for everybody. The activities we're doing, being purposeful. I see people feeling good. That food sandwich is just really, it's killing it. It's really creating great business for us and having you to enjoy the process of it.
Yeah.
That's all I can just add. That the food sandwich is mind blowing. It's really getting people involved. I have in my group a very, I guess, compliance personality, a very analytical
Yep.
lady. But she started getting into this thing, and I see it just start drawing her, and then she's become much more powerful, in 5 weeks of being in it.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. I really think is allowing what Gerry Keller has been preaching, that in order for us to take our business from the internet and all these big companies going on internet to get into real estate,
Yes.
this is making it a personal business, and
Yep.
personal business is where you're going to strive.
Well, we have to, what Gerry is very adamant and clear about, and all the things that we're building in Keller Williams, Kelly, KW Command, is to build that moat around that database. Cause that's the one thing that if we allow those companies to attack, we're kind of toast. That's our one thing, if you may, is that database. And what we've done in Bold 2.0 is we've allowed people to lead generate in their natural, comfortable core behavior with a system. Make no mistake, there's a system to do that. We call it the DTD2. And yet people feel like they're free. They feel like they're a little birdie that's been in the cage and been let out. So I love that. So thanks, Gerry. Scott, talk to us.
Database, data bank. I like that we're talking about the data bank. That is something with the technology, where we're going, where our company's going, letting us now, giving us permission to be able to text message, use social media. Do not forget about the voice to voice, because that is very important, and still giving us permission to use some of the scripts. Like, I'm in a competition. Now we can text that to our data bank and let them know, because we can definitely hit, especially on social media too, sending that same script, we can hit that to 200 people within that hour on just copy paste, and
Absolutely.
definitely able to help level it up. The Ford sandwich, about 2.5 years ago, I was on a power up with Diana, and she asked me, what was the main thing that you took from Bold? And I said, Ford. And we talked about it at that time, and Ford wasn't as big as it was now in Bold.
Yeah.
And now I really like that we're bringing it out to the next level and just taking it to the next level. Now on Data Bank, how y'all matched up the numbers with, the letters with, this letter with this letter, and how it is week by week.
Yes.
That's helping us a lot too. Just being able to break it down to a system.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I would share with everybody that's listening is that when the group of the coaches and all the folks that gathered for the lab in Austin about 6 weeks ago with Gerry, one of the words, there were a few words that stuck with all of us that Gerry said. He said, number one, we're a company of systems and models, and Bold is a system. And anything we bring to Bold has to be a system. So Scott, you were mentioning DTD2, where we match up letters in the alphabet, and that forces us to contact those folks 4 times per year. It's a system. And the database is a system. And without a system, Gerry says, we never break through that entrepreneurial ceiling. And that's really where we see the massive success. And I know the numbers, and I know you all, each and every one of you, have hit ceilings, because we all do. And in order to break through, we have to use systems, models, or strategic options, which is the E to P sandwich, the focus and the accountability. And so we've kept that into Bold. And that's Gerry's finger, if you may. That's Gerry's hands on Bold. bringing the models of MREA, one thing, shift into that.
I like that. In the book, Atomic Habit, it talks about, it's not about the goal, it's about the systems you create to reach that goal.
Because go ahead, keep going.
And that's what's going to be able to continue to let you break past those ceilings. Because once you hit that goal, you hit the goal. If you have the system, that's going to help you take it to that next level.
Yeah, and that's what Gerry told us when we were there. He says, guys, the word is systems. It's systems. So I want to shift gears on you now, and I want to ask you this question. And sometimes we hear from mega agents, and you all are mega agents. We hear, I don't need bold. Bold doesn't work for me. I'm not a bold person. And we have all these things we hear, and I get it, right? Because people have voices in their head. They have this little guy that shows up every once in a while, right? However, you guys are clearly demonstrating that even as a mega agent, bold is a system for you to go to the next level. I want to talk to you, though, about your life. Let's push business aside for a second and talk to us about how bold has impacted your life, your personal life, how you've used it. And certainly, Gerry, we'll start with you on this one, how you've used it to impact your family. Just a couple of minutes, just share how you would respond when people go, yeah, bold doesn't work for me, I don't need it. And talk to us about how bold has impacted your life.
All right, an easy way for me to share that. The last bold I did, not this current one, the last one, I knew a couple that was struggling in their relationship. It's a good friend of mine. And I say, you're not in real estate. I want you guys to come to bold. Okay. And they're like, really? We don't do real estate. I said, well, the guy's a contractor, is an engineer, does, hi-fi, Wi-Fi, I say, it's you can look at it when we make contacts, you make contacts for your business.
Absolutely.
However, more importantly, I want you and your wife to come and hear the languages that you're going to learn in bold. And they agreed with me and joined bold. And by the 6th week of bold, they went through the 6th week. They didn't come for the 7th week. But by that 6th week, he called me back and said, our marriage has never been better. Because I knew that when they come, they're going to pick up some languages. The mindset reading that what do you call it, the diet fitness thing that you read?
The mental fitness diet.
Mental diet.
Yep.
When you read that, all of that is part of what makes you a better person.
Absolutely.
And I'm constantly a preacher of, it's funny. I didn't even notice this thing that I picked so much from bold. I'm looking at this bold as, the instructor was talking about this and that. I'm like, oh my God, this is what I always say. And I didn't realize all of those things were embedded in me, from bold. How, you always talk to people, look at the positive things as opposed to the negative things, dwell on the right energy, talking about the right energy. So yeah, that's just, I can go on for that, but I'll leave it to other people to share on that.
Well, you know what, Gerry, one of the things that you said, which we love as bold coaches, is that we actually ooze stuff into y'all. And then when you need it, it just comes out and you go, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? And it came from how your subconscious brain takes things in and you're not even aware of it. And so you just demonstrated that. Scott, let's go to you. How has bold impacted your life?
So I look at life as seasons, and in bold, you learn there's no such thing as a bad day. There's just bad moments, and it's how you let that moment affect your day and how your day is going to go. And then in life, we have defining moments, and we can be a victim or we can be victorious no matter the situation. And through the gratitude segment, that's always been one of my favorite times. And I know, so when I took my first bold, my mother paid for my first bold because my card was declined at that time.
So stop right there, Scott. I want to just, because I've heard you tell this story. There's people that don't realize that many people who join bold start at zero. And in all of you have, and Jennie raises her hand as well. And yet now 3.5 years later, you're at over a million GCI. And that would not have happened without your mom borrowing you the money. Yet the point is you found a way to get in that bold room. And that's why I wanted to stop and just say, if somebody's watching this and their limiting belief is, I need bold, I can't find a way. Well, there's always a way. Keep going.
So, the gratitude calls, this was I believe it was my 6th bold at this time. And I was able to call her, and we talked, and I gave my gratitude about how thankful I am and where we're at. And 2 weeks later, we were going on a trip. And I was able to afford to be able to pay this trip to take my whole family. We were going to New Orleans, and we get there, and she's in her hotel room, and a blood clot hit her, and just like that, she passed away. So I never knew my father. It's always been just my mother. And postponement can be permanent, and the more we postpone things, it could be a permanent postponement. And I look back, and I'm thankful that I was able to make that gratitude call through bold. And I'm thankful for what I've learned through bold to make me who I am today, as well as, the people I'm around, because, the people that you're around, you attract like-minded people, positive thinking, positive results.
Absolutely.
So been able to help me not be a victim in a situation, to be victorious. And, for mega agents that choose not to take bold, I think that it's selfish, because it's not about us. It's about the agents that are around us, that are looking at us, that say, you know what, if he's taking it, I should be able to take it. And being able to watch their breakthroughs,
right,
that excites me. That pushes me. And I'm like, wow, let's go get it. And then it just continue to keep driving that train.
Well, and Scott, obviously we're sorry for your loss. And I remember when you went through that, and yet I also was, I just watched you go through that, and things happen, and we respond, and then we move forward. And the thing that I just learned from you, because we're always learning based, postponement can be permanent. And what you really just shared is bold has allowed you to do certain things for the others around you, and that it's not just about you. And when you use the word selfish, that's a pretty strong word. And yet as a coach, one of the blind spots I think people have sometimes is they don't realize their production or their lack thereof isn't just impacting them. It's impacting everyone, their families, their kids, their nieces, their nephews, the market centers, the communities. It's not just one impact. And you just shared that, and you really nailed that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
First we learn, then we earn, then we return.
Scott, I'm just going to turn the call over to you, and you can do the rest of the call. I love it. Okay, Jennie, talk to us. I mean, boy, that's you kind of nailed it, and then they had to follow you. Now you get to follow them. Wow.
This is tough. I agree. They're also spot on with the value of bold. And for me, it's just a part of my life now, that it taught me that 4 days a week I work in my business, and 1 day a week I work on my business. And it really, especially the year like Scott, I took bold 4 times in a year, 3 of those outside of my own market center. And the next year I took it 3 times, 2 of those outside of my own market center. And that takes a huge commitment from my family for me to be, getting up that early and home that late to travel for this purpose. And those are the years that I've just learned to be smarter. And with this abundant mindset that I have, I can't sweat the small stuff. And my biggest thought on this is that be, do, have. I've been modeling it for my team that has allowed me to attract awesome agents and people into our world because of my habits I established back then. And I would think that the team members now are, and I see them modeling it as well with their families, their time blocking, time off, they're bold as well. And for me, the commitment with the family piece is that, the husband's, out a little bit in mornings when he's taking our daughter to school or work. And then the first year after my first bold, when I went from 23 units to 51 units, and my MAPS coach said, well, Jennie, I remember in bold, you had dreamt of a lake house. I said, yeah. And he said, well, how much does one cost? I said, I have no idea. So that night, I get on MLS and I find one. And by that Saturday, I'm making an offer at a lake house an hour away from us. And for me, I thought that the lake house was for me all that time. And then I find out later that my husband loves it so much. It's really his escape while he has a very stressful career. And so, and then over the years, you know, this commitment to being bold and living this life with a counterbalanced life. My daughter's, we've taken her to Disney World every year for the last 8 years. And while this feels selfish to say these are my achievements, it just is because I have learned to be smarter in my work time,
right,
and not stressed or having limited thinking or beliefs, then I'm able to have a life by design, and it's awesome.
Well, you know what, Jennie, and all of you have touched on this. It's not about the money. It's about the experience. That lake home that you have, you go and you get away and you create memories with your family, and you don't forget memories. And that's the experiences that we have. And Scott, you touched on it, and Gerry, you touched on it as well. And that's really what a life by design is. And, you know, and the one thing Gerry talks about counterbalancing, sometimes it's real estate, sometimes it's our personal lives, and yet we've got to counterbalance both. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got just 2 minutes. We said we're going to keep this to 30 minutes. So there's 2 things I want you to end with. I'd love a final thought from each of you that you would share to anybody watching and listening. And then also, I want you to make sure you let folks know what part of the country you're in for any referral opportunities that you may desire to come your way. So Gerry, let's start with you. One final thought you would share with anybody watching or listening, and what part of the country, so they all know.
Well, I'm really, first of all, I'm honored to be in this room with all this really great personality here. You know, for people that are thinking, oh, should I get into bold or not? I always say you should. You know, Gary Keller said take it 10 times. Now I'm 17 times. I'm probably going to end up 20 something times in there. But the key thing is, look at, if you're looking to increase your life, and I understand there are some people that are like, my life is really good already, what do I need? Well, you when you experience it, you also touch other people, you touch other your team members, and then it will extend, it always extend, because there's always growing in a human being that we need to have in your home, in your church, in among your friends. Is going to show, you're going to always continue to grow. And if you are one that's looking to grow, I would say you want to take bold.
And what part of the country, so everybody knows, Gerry, for all those referrals?
I am from Torrance, California. So if you have anybody coming to the Southern California area, please reach out to me, okay?
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Jennie?
Awesome. I would just say you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your market center, you owe it to your team, you owe it to your community to take bold. This new bold is going to just remind you and allow you to get back connected with your database and those that already know you, trust you, and like you anyway. Something I'll share is that as a team, we came up with a motto last year, and it sums it up for us. It's help more, give back, have fun, live large. Oh. And that's just what we live by as a team and as a business. So I'm in the middle of America, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I know you'll have tons of people moving here as soon as your RAS will go off. You're like, yes. And I have a Facebook group that's just for real estate agents that I share tons of stuff in. If you're interested in joining, it's called Your Journey with Jennie.
Your Journey with Jennie. I love that. I love that. I'm getting on it as soon as I get off of this. I'm joining.
All right, you're in.
I'm in. Thank you. Oh, I have to get approved. I forgot. I have to get approved.
I guess.
I love it. Hey, Scott. Okay, take us out.
So Bold 2.0, the way the industry is going, you got to be ready to pivot when it's time to pivot, and not taking Bold 2.0, you're going to be behind the curve. Our company with Keller Williams has so much training, it never stops. So first if you're connecting the dots, first you take Ignite, then you get in coaching, then you take Bold, then you go to career visioning, then you do 30, 60, 90, then you do success through others, then you take ESO, family reunion, mega camp, luxury mastermind, spring mastermind, 6 perspectives. Now taking all of those is connecting the dots. Now, when you connect the dots, it's kind of like that 3D picture where you have to stare at it and it's a little blurry. It's not till you take it over and over and over again before the picture becomes clear and you understand how to be able to grow the business and live a life by design. And Gary Keller says money's only good for the good it can do. Yeah. And understanding that as well, understand giving back is what our company is about.
Absolutely.
And Bold 2.0 is giving back to us. Gary's giving back to us with Kelly, Command, everything that we have as a company. And if we're not taking advantage of it, then we're gonna lose the battle.
We're gonna lose the battle, and it's a battle every day. Everybody watching and listening, it's a battle every day. So you know what? From the bottom of my heart, first of all, gratitude to y'all for taking the time today. I know you're all extremely busy. I trust that everybody who's watched and had an opportunity to listen to y'all will share some gratitude, send some referrals your way. And guys, here's what I would say, ladies and gentlemen listening. Bold 2.0 is coming in June. We have 33 locations across the country right now. We still have an opportunity. There's still a very small window to get your launch in. If you have interest, talk with your market center leadership, connect with our team at KW. And for everybody else, if there's anything else we can do for you, reach out to our MAPS team, and we'd love to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much. Take care. Have a great day, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.